Hello, welcome to Tokusatsu Thursdays. Today, I'm reviewing Kamen Rider Zero-One, which is a 2019 to 2022, 2020 Tokusatsu series produced by Ishinomori Productions and Toei Company, right? It's directed by Shojiro Nakazawa, Tsuruki Sugihara, and Takayuki Shibisaki, starring Fumiya Takahashi, Noah Tsurushima, Ryutaro Okada, Daisuke Nakagawa, and Hiro Ikeda. Right? So, this was the very first episode of Tokusatsu Thursdays was me doing a reaction of Kamen Rider Zero-One, and now 2 years later we're finally reviewing the show, which I should mention the show is available on Tubi for free if you live in North America, or you can get the Blu-ray set released by Shout Factory, which I watched the show on, right? And it comes with 46 episodes plus the movie and some of the special episodes. Though I think the special episodes are mostly like stunt shows, right? Where they perform basically an episode of Kamen Rider in front of a live audience, right? So it's like a stunt show kind of thing, right? If you know what stunt shows are. So yeah, the story for this Kamen Rider series is that it takes place in a cyberpunk future, basically. Even though the show takes place in the same time as we do, right? It takes place in the same year, I should say, as we do, right? Which like well, if you read old cyberpunk, novels, 2020 was a common like year that they would use, right? And the story is about Aruto Hiden, who I think he's like supposed to be like 25 in the show, but he looks way younger. Is a struggling comedian who loses his job, right? Loses his job, only get approached by Humagear called Izu or Is as it's spelled in the subtitles, who is a Humagear. Humagear being humanoid androids that are everywhere in society, right? And they're made by Hiden Productions or whatever the company is called. No, Hiden Intelligence, my bad. And his grandfather, who was the CEO of the company, in his will, who he passed away, gave control of Hiden Intelligence to his grandson, right? And also gives him the Kamen Rider Zero-One driver, which is a belt that allows our main character to turn into the cyborg superhero, even though he's not a cyborg. It said that in the Tubi description. I'm like, oh my god. It allows him to henshin or transform into the crime-fighting superhero known as Zero-One, right? Who was given the belts, right? The power to turn to Zero-One to protect humanity and Humagears from Metsubojinrai.net, which is rebel Humagear group that want to wipe out humanity, right? To free Humagears, right? And at first, they don't reveal that they're Humagears. It's like later on that it's not that later on, because the show is 45 episodes, right? Well, 46. One of the episodes was like a recap episode, and there was like an episode prior to that was like half a recap episode. Or something. Actually, that might have been the same episode, but yeah, there's only the one recap episode, not like with another with an Ultraman show we watched, which was only like what 25 episodes, and there were like 3 recap episodes, and that show is considered like an 8 out of 10 for a lot of people. Oh my god! Even though I liked Ultraman X, come on, there was like, for a show that short, you get with 3 recap episodes, you're gonna people give it like really high scores. Oh my god, right? So yeah, our main character Aruto Hiden and his really cute assistant Izu, or is right, have to tackle human gear problems where running his corporation at the same time having to fight Metsubo Jinrai Donnet, who's turning human gears evil and transforming into attack humanity. Right. You also have Ames, which is like a crime-fighting organization, right? Who has like two Kamen Riders, right? Which is Kamen Rider Vulcan, who is Fuwa, however you pronounce his name, who because of an incident that happened like 15 years ago or whatever, called Daybreak, where Human Gears went on a rampage, right? In Human Gear automated city, right? Right? Who he supposedly lost his family at, right? He hates Human Gears, and you also have Yua Yaiba, who is Kamen Rider Valkyrie, who is his not superior, but like she's like the technical advisor, who later on you find out was a plant by Zaya, right? So like the first arc of the show, which let's just call it the Metsubo Jinrai.net arc, has our characters like well, the episodes are very episodic, but there are arcs where Aruto Hinen has to solve problems with his assistant by getting Human Gears jobs at certain positions, right? Certain positions like chefs, coaches, even like episode 5 has like is a very weeb episode where it's like you have like a rich mangaka who's basically, I guess he's supposed to be like I think he's supposed to be like an allegory for Toriyama, who is so lazy and like disinspirited of his job that his entire manga that has been going on for years, that even the main character loves, is completely run by Human Gears, right? Which really pisses off our main character. Even though, like, let's be real, he doesn't mind when Human Gears are taking other people's jobs, but when it comes to creative stuff, he has a problem with. Oh my god! But yeah, it's mostly like, which that guy who they have play like the Toriyama guy looks just like Tony from Hack the Movies, man. I couldn't believe it. It's like, holy crap. Watch episode of Kamen Rider Zero-One and go look at what Tony from Hack the Movies look like. They look like the same person. Alright. Oh my god. So yeah, the first arc of the show is basically episodic episodes where our characters fight out of control Human Gears, and near the end of the show, the villains, which are Hirobi and Jin, which Hirobi is like a black and purple Kamen Rider, right? Who's like scorpion themed. He has like a briefcase weapon that turns into a bow and arrow. That's also a sword. That's the thing with this show, is that our characters have briefcase weapons that can turn into either swords, guns, or like swords, guns, or even axes. I think Zero-One gets axe briefcase at some point, right? And he's Kamen Rider Hirobi, aka Kamen Rider Poison, and Jin is Kamen Rider Jin, but like, you know, his like he's pink at first. He's like a pink pink Kamen Rider with wings, and his design is actually pretty good. I think overall the Kamen Rider's designs are pretty good, right? But yeah, I really liked his design, right? And then there's like you get introduced to, there's actually 4 people in MetsuboJinrai.net, and you find out the identity of one of them at the end of the Metsubo Jinrai arc. And the second arc of the show, which goes from like episodes 20 to 35, I would say, give or take, is the Zaya arc, where we have a human villain called Guy Amamatsu, who is the head of the Zaya Corporation, right? Who is supposed to be 24 years old, but is actually like 42, right? But he spends a lot of his company money making him young. And this character was actually pretty cool because he's like Kamen Rider Bowser, which at first he's like a gold Kamen Rider with a lance weapon, which he can hit and like hack people's like special abilities, right? And I forgot to mention that Kamen Rider Zero-One's gimmick is that his driver, you have progress keys, right, that he puts into his driver and allows him to transform into different kinds of Kamen Riders, right, with different abilities, right? I forgot to mention that. And the progress keys look like plastic toy cassette tapes. If you ever collected Transformers, G1 Transformers, and you know how Soundwave had like little cassettes that you would put into like his cassette player, and the cassettes would transform into different like robots, like Ravager, which was a black one, and you had like what was it? Not Devastator. What was the one with the shock? Not. There was one with like battering ram arms or whatever. I can't remember. But I can't remember. But yeah, the progress keys look like that, man. I forgot to mention that. And like Bowser, yeah, his thing is that he tries to take the Kamen Rider. Sorry, Hiden intelligence from Aruto Hiden, right? And he was a pretty cool villain, and he doesn't like the Human Gears because he sees AI as a threat to humanity, right? Which you even find out. I'm not gonna spoil it, but he had a hand to play in the creation of MetsuboJinrai.net and Arc, the evil artificial intelligence that runs MetsuboJinrai.net, right? And that arc was pretty cool because they introduced raid risers, which allowed normal people to turn into Kamen Riders, and you had the thing where like Zaya, Yua was actually, you know, a plant by Zaya, right, into Ames, which she gets a new form, which is called the Jackal form, which looks way cooler than Valkyrie, right? Whatever. And then the final arc of the show, which it was during the Zaya arc where they introduced the fourth hidden member of MetsuboJinrai.net or whatever it's called, right? Who was a girl called Naki, right? And in the final arc of the show, Jin gets a new form. Right, and he unwillingly releases the Arc, right? Who's able to possess human gears, and he mostly pisses members of MetsuboJinrai.net, and is able to transform into a black Kamen Rider Zero-One, right? Which it's called like All Zero or whatever, right? And he's basically the final bad guy of the show, which all of our characters in the show pretty much have to team up to take him out. And then you have a final stretch of the show where it's just Kamen Rider Zero-One, versus Hirobi, right? Who was the true leader of Metsubo Jinrai.net. So I'm just going into my likes and dislikes of the show. The aesthetics of the show, like the rider designs, they all look good, right? They all look good, and they all look good. Even though if you look too closely, especially on the Metsubo Jinrai.net Kamen Rider designs, they if you look too close at their armor, it kind of looks like like fucking dirt bike protective gear. You know, the kind of shit that the Mortal Kombat guys use to make the robot costumes for their fucking games, right? Sector and Cyrax and shit. But if you don't look too closely, the designs look cool, and I would totally buy figures of all these guys. That's the true sign if a design is good, if you would buy like an action figure of it, in my opinion. The music is, I like the acting, I like the characters, right? I like the characters, right? Even though like I like the characters, right? Even yeah, and the music was good, and the action scenes, and I would say the direction of the show got a lot better with the action scenes near the final end of the show. Now I'm gonna go with my dislikes. Oh boy, where do I fucking start? Oh boy. The show is called Kamen Rider, and Kamen Rider is a superhero who rides a motorcycle, right? The main character, hardly ever rides his motorcycle, or if he does, he never uses it in combat. So that's a strike one. Which Kamen Rider Kuga would use his motorcycle in combat sometimes, right? Here, they never use it for combat, and he hardly ever rides the fucking bike, right? And the bike is a dirt bike. Too much bad CGI, even though I did like the fact that they had like a giant robot, Progrise Key, which looked cool. That looked cool. Too many character deaths that they would just bring back again, and a lot of these character deaths were like the human gear. So obviously, okay, they're robots, so they can come back, but it's like the show would want us to get really emotional when one of the human gear characters die. Only when that character, we know whether we're gonna see that character come back, and you're gonna see that character come back several times. Jin, I think both Jin and Hirobi, I think died at least twice in the show, or at least once, and was brought back. Jin fucking came back at least, like, holy fuck, what, 4 or 5 times? Jesus Christ, man. So that was annoying. And then there's that was annoying. And then there's what really fucking bothered me in the show. And this is what I like. And usually I like when shows do this, but only if they do this once. Which is the Vegeta turn heel. I call this the Vegeta roll. So, in my opinion, shows are allowed to do this once. And that is, you have a character the reason why I called the Vegeta roll, because, like, you know, in Dragon Ball Z, they started this trope, which I like this trope, where you introduce a character as a villain, and then later on, shit happens and he becomes a hero, right? He becomes one of the hero characters, right? Almost, right? And I like that in, you know, all my favorite shonen jumps, stories, and anime do this. A lot of them do it at least once, right? Here, almost every fucking villain turns into a good guy at some point in the show. And they fucking ruined Guy Amatsu, which I really liked his character. Even though he was a bad guy, I really liked his character, right? And his motivations motivations at first were kind of noble, really, because like AI can be a threat to humanity, right? But then it turns out, oh no, that was all bullshit. You know, he's actually wants to make money by having out of control human gears and then selling Kamen Rider weapons to the public. And they're not even allowed. You're not allowed to own fucking guns in Japan. You're telling me they're gonna let people have Kamen Rider belts and turn into like cyborg superheroes? That makes no fucking sense. Right? Holy fuck. They ruined Bowser, and then you find out what Bowser's name comes from. He's not named after the fucking the villain from Fist of North Star. He's actually named after something really fucking dumb that I don't even want to spoil. That annoyed the fuck out of me. Oh my Christ. Oh my god. And I know, okay, this is a show for kids, right? Right? But like you had to have almost every fucking villain in the show become a good guy. Fuck that. That was bullshit. Right? And I didn't like the fact that fuck it. Okay, a character dies, and they just get a new. They can't bring that character back because they have backup data. So they just make a new body for it, and it's just a carbon copy of the original, right? And I don't know. I guess that was supposed to be sweet for a lot of people. I don't know. I thought that was dumb, right? But yeah, overall, I liked the show. But it has its problems, right? But overall, I like the show. I'm giving it, a 6 out of 10. It's better than average. And though I probably don't have any interest in watching the show again, I will check out the movie at some point, which comes with the Blu-ray set, and maybe I'll review the special episodes. Yeah, but overall, I would say if you're a Kamen Rider fan and you want to see more Kamen Rider shows come out in the West, and get actual physical copies, please go out and support the official release so we can get more Blu-ray sets, right? Especially, I really want the fucking Kamen Rider Black show. And Kabuto, right? Oh, god damn it. Which, yeah. And even though I'm not a huge fan of this show, I bought like 2 sets. One for me, and the other one was supposed to be for me, but the one was 2 or 3 months late, and I'm like, I thought the fucking thing, because I ordered it online, I thought the thing was never gonna show up, and when I saw it at the mall, I picked it up. But the second set I just gave to my nephew for Christmas, right? Which I don't know if he liked. Hopefully he liked. That's the problem, though, with the Blu-ray set. Maybe have a fucking English dub, because I don't know if kids are gonna want to read subtitles for this shit. But yeah, overall I like the show, and I would recommend it, even though yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna take a break for Tokusatsu. I'm gonna take a break from watching Tokusatsu series to do my next anime review, which is gonna be Tetsujin 28. But once I'm done with Tetsujin 28, I'm gonna do another. I'll start watching a new Tokusatsu show, which we're gonna do a poll for the next Tokusatsu series we're gonna review. It's either going to be Ultraman Orb, or Zoo or Super Sentai Zoo Ranger, right? So yeah, I'll post that poll like the same day, right? Maybe even before. I don't know. All right, guys, peace.